Hey guys, welcome to my channel. This is Nox Empress. Hey guys, welcome to this week's video. For this month, I will be posting only speed paints from Artfight. I'm going to assume that no one knows what Artfight is, so I'll do a little explanation. Artfight is a art trading game where there are normally two different teams fighting against each other, and people will draw each other's characters as an attack, which can be rated and scored for a specific amount of points depending on the type of art you make, whether it's physical, digital, 3D. If it's a model of some kind, there are different categories for it. And this only happens once a month in normally July every single year. I've been doing it for 3 years now, this being my third year. This year the theme is comedy, misery, and tragedy. And I am a part of Team Comedy. It's orange. I can't really say much other than that. And I will be showing some of the speed paints of my attacks for this year. And we're going to start with week 1. So day 1, I didn't draw anything, sadly, but I did start drawing around day 2 because the site was back up and running. You'll see the character that I started drawing, which was Nate. I will let you guys jump onto the site if you guys really want to see the references and other people's profiles and whatnot. But Nate is a angelic humanoid of some sort, and their owner drew them this year in a clown costume, which I decided to make a sticker of. I will also mention that Nate was the third attack that I had made for this year. I will also allow the image to sit on the screen for a few seconds, and then for any animations I do, I will show the entire animation at the end of the speed paint. But next up is Goo Cat. Goo Cat was the 5th item I had drawn for Artfight this year, and Goo Cat is owned by Tessave, I believe that's how you pronounce it. They are someone that I've been attacking for the past few years, and I tend to do revenges on. And luckily for me, they happen to be on a different team than I was this year. They're on Team Tragedy, which means I gotta rack up some nice points for this animation that you'll see me making. This animation is actually the 2nd or 3rd one I've ever done, specifically for Artfight, and also it is the first frame-by-frame animation I've posted on Artfight, which took me forever to do because I had to go back and forth between frames and whatnot to try to make it as fluid as possible, which I think I did an okay, if not a pretty good job, which I'm very, very proud of it and super excited to post it. I also had to shade every frame on its own to try to make sure it looked as visually accurate for the lighting, which was an interesting experience because I use Procreate, so I had to condense down a lot of layers because I ran out of them multiple times, which sucked, to put it blatantly. Some fun facts about this animation. There is around 46 individually sketched and lined frames in this entire animation, with I believe around 3 to 4 duplicates only. And every single frame was obviously hand drawn, hand shaded, frame by frame. The only thing that was copy and pasted between each frame was the background. That way it's consistent across every single frame and animation point. Speaking of, the background took me a little bit because I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was honestly going to do an abstract pattern background until I kind of thought about it and figured that a cute little house background would fit in really well with the goo cat, kind of treating it like a house pet of sorts. For this last little part of the goo cat speed paint, you'll see me messing around with the background, shading, color, etc. So I can try to get a cohesive, not too contrasting and not too similar color scheme for it. That way it stands out easily because it is the main focus of this piece. The last character and animation for this video we have is Starlit Blizzard's Sona, or personification. This one is also an animation, although it is not quite frame by frame because there are some parts that I duplicated and then hand moved, but there is some parts that I also hand drew, like the tail for specific, more than once. You'll notice that I put the character together first and then I slowly but surely worked on the coloring, soft shading, and then I started to move things around, trying to think about animation. And then I had my idea pop up into my head where you'll see me get more direct and specific with the parts that I end up moving, and later the harsher light-based shading. You'll notice that the background also comes into view very quickly because that's when the idea popped in my head of the differentiation for the lights and whatnot. And of course, fairy lights. They're kind of one of my favorite things, funny enough, which is a little personal tidbit about me. I actually really enjoy the soft light from fairy lights, and I am if at all applicable, I would rather use soft lights like fairy lights or lamps over the overhead lights. And back to the art piece, you'll see me do some gradients and shading on the character for backlighting purposes and slowly add more onto it and lighten it slowly but surely to make it appear as the lights get brighter and are slightly burning out. I do eventually reach the point where I feel like the background lighting has gotten bright enough for me to make it kind of break. I do apologize. There's a little bit of a flashing light. It's not too bad though, because I try to make it very soft and subtle. And then the transition into the new section where you will see me adding a lot of red and a little bit of gore into there. That is something else I also enjoy doing. I don't know if I will share many of the gory pieces that I might end up doing this year for Artfight. Very shortly, you will get to see the full animation. I do apologize, it is low quality because it was very bulky to export, but that is the last attack for this week. And next week, we will have a mass attack and maybe a few small ones to share. Hope you guys enjoyed. Bye!